Hello, I'm Ross Tweddell, joined by Sam Driver, and welcome to your AEW Full Gear 2024 predictions. And because this is the first of the big 8 pay-per-views we've come to since we rejuvenated the Patreon, Sam, this is the first one with a punishment. We don't know what the punishment is, although I do hear that some horrible bastard has got it ready in the background. Haven't they? Haven't they got it ready? They've really got it. Oh, there it is there. Who would have thought it flying in like that on cue? Fantastic scenes on the video. Sam, what is the punishment we're doing?
Trying to pull a bit of paper out and it's...
I hope it's fine. It's not fine.
Oh, it's not fine.
It's not fine at all. This could be the worst one of all time. How do you say it, Sam? You just beat the spade.
Surströmming, I believe.
Surströmming?
Surströmming, which is fermented fish. That's gonna...
I'm allergic, I can't eat it, I'll be in hospital.
This could genuinely send you to the hospital, the medical facility.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that next week then. Anyway, let's crack on with the predictions, eh? What's the point in life anymore, eh?
Oh, it's going to stink.
First up, we have Big Boom AJ with Big Justice in his corner taking on QT Marshal on the kickoff show. But if AJ wins, Sam, that Rizzler will be ringing the bell and stuff like that.
That's the most important part of this year for me, because I think it's going to be AJ with the big win, but what if the Rizzler refuses to ring the bell, Ross?
Come on, Sam.
What if it starts the ultimate social media SmackDown, Ross?
He's a professional, Sam. He's never going to say no.
AJ versus the Rizzler at the next pay-per-view. No, it's got to be AJ with the win here, surely. It's on the pre-show. It's going to have a lot of eyes on it. This is going to be a story that's going to be all over American press the day after. So
yeah, it's not really hitting with me because I'm not on the TikTok. But I've heard that big news. They made Jimmy Fallon hate his own life for a period of time.
I saw
which
that.
was nice to
and
see.
I've got a Costco card, so.
The Costco.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't tease the Rizzler and then not have the Rizzler be there. So AJ's going to get the win and the Riz is going to ring the bell. Carney.
Next up, we've got MJF versus Roddy Strong. Ross, who you got and why?
I'm going to go off the beaten track, Sam. I'm lost in the woods without a phone. I'm going for Roddy Strong to do the biggest upset of this week, potentially, by taking down MJF and getting the best night's sleep he's had in well over a week by the time Saturday rolls around. His promo last night made him a believer, but also, I was on the Pitches video this week, pitching Roddy Strong winning, a jealous Adam Cole being jealous of Roddy Strong, and that being a program splitting up MJF and Adam Cole. I don't know if it's heart over head, but I like the idea of that. Roddy Strong made me a believer with the promo, so I'm going to go with Roddy Strong.
I am going for the flip side of that. I'm going for MJF, and it's because of what Kyle O'Reilly was saying in his promo to Adam Cole, where he basically said, you know, we're willing to put ourselves on the line for you and things like that, but like, how many of your friends is it going to take? And it made me think, well, maybe MJF's going to sort of have a very good victory here over Roddy Strong, and it's going to start kind of dissension among that group as to how far they're willing to go for Mr. Cole.
And you would expect Cole to get involved in the match somehow. A little way, and then of course you've got the Don Callis family on MJF's side. There's so many ramifications, Sam.
There is.
All going Roddy. Together. Next up in a grudge match, we have Jay White taking on Hangman Adam Page. Who are you picking and why?
It was flip a coin, this one, wasn't it? It was a really hard one to pick because obviously they've got so much history together, they've faced each other, and it feels like we're getting the third match coming up, and it's sort of like building toward that. But at the same time, neither of them really can afford to lose, but both could win. And I kind of went with Jay White because I thought, well, we've just had Hangman sort of become tapped, and I think that it's like he's not just gone back to normal after everything from Swerve. He's quite obsessive still. I think that maybe if Jay White gets that victory and takes it to 2-1 in this current series, it might push Hangman to the point of insanity again and more house burn-ins.
I am very, very torn.
This time he's going to have to fly to New Zealand though, maybe.
Just burn down Jay White's actual family home. Not that wasn't Swerve's actual. It was actually. You know what I'm saying though? Has to go and burn his family while they're inside of it. Anyway, I'm going to go for Hangman to win, just based off the fact that I don't see him losing another pay-per-view match in a row like he has done the last couple of times after the big cage match win over Swerve, of course. I can see your point though. Another loss for Hangman would probably send him off the deep end.
Yeah, I'm just so I went with Jay White, and
it feels like they are making Jay White or trying to make Jay White a bona fide main eventer in this new role of his, but I'm going to go for Hangman.
The lead-in promo was very Jay White weighted as well, and I was like, oh.
They named the show after Hangman, apparently. Full Gear. I don't know how that links to Hangman. Please tell me. I was wondering.
I think it was a Be in the Elite thing, wasn't it? Maybe.
I never watched it.
I remember there was a reason for something.
Fair. Yeah. Come on, Hangman.
Next up, we got Private Party defending the AEW tag titles against the Outrunners, the Kings of the Black Throne, and the Acclaimed. Ross, who you got and why?
This one simply comes down to timing, Sam, for this prediction. I think it's too soon to be taking the tag team titles away from the PP, so I'm going to go for the PP to get the big victory.
Yeah, I think that I can see it. I can see the titles changing hands. I'd love to see the Outrunners with those belts sooner rather than later, but again, after such a monumental climb to dethrone the Bucks to then fall over on the first step, it'd be a bit like, ooh.
It has been another one of those title things in wrestling in general, I guess. It's not just an issue reserved for AEW, it happens elsewhere as well.
Yeah.
The journey towards the title, while it was brief, those few weeks were quite scintillating.
Yeah,
but now they've got the titles, we've done nothing much since.
Yeah, we've got to kind of keep it going, keep the train going.
So it's too soon. PP to keep the belts. Next up for the TBS title, we have Mercedes Mone with Kamille in her corner taking on Kris Statlander. Who are you picking and why, Sam?
I want nothing more than for Mercedes Mone to drop that belt.
Oh, she's doing her job well then, Sam.
But she's doing her job well, yeah. But at the same time, I just think that it doesn't feel weirdly like it's the time yet. It doesn't feel like we've kind of got to that point where there's been like a major, it feels like we're going to need like a really major storyline to have this belt torn from Mercedes, because it's like it's like a coronation to beat her, right? So it's one of those things where Statlander got a pile driver on her last night, and obviously they took care of Kamille, but it's like I think I'm gonna have to go with Mercedes, as much as it pains me to say it.
There's a little bit of doubt in my mind when it comes to Mercedes, because they have been pinning Kamille as the worst security guard since the ones charged with...
She's got one arm at the minute, so
yeah. But she's also very bad at her job, we've learned over the last few weeks, and Mercedes is just treating her like poo, so there could be a chance that Kamille could turn on Mercedes, and that sets up
could be good.
a Kris Statlander win. I just don't see it happening at this point. They'll just think Mercedes, not saying it's too soon,
she'd be losing the belt to the person who she's just beat her record, right? So it's like, I've held this longer than you, but it's like, it'd be weird.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, I can't see Mercedes not winning.
Next up, we got Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley. Big Bob, who you got and why?
Big Bob. Big Bob. Big Bob. Big Bob. Big Bob. I'm going to go for Big Bob, Sam, because he's just arrived. He is a fresh new shiny toy for AEW.
He had his debut last night. We're on about he can lose.
But this is his pay-per-view debut, Sam. There are levels to this game, and this is a level up. All of the gears. Only some of the gears last night. Anyway, I'm going to go... They did do well in casting the doubt last night on Dynamite, as we're stood here, with Swerve Strickland attacking Bobby Lashley several times with a chain. Oopa, he said. So Bobby's got a sore knee. Bobby was beaten down as well after taking that sore knee and after winning a handicap match. But I just think Bobby's going to win. I also think with the Prince Nana thing, Swerve's committed to Nana. Yeah. There's more of the Hurt Syndicate. Could Ricochet get involved? Because Ricochet, he took the card, then they didn't attack him, which means in storyline, because they said this, he wasn't attacked, because when you turn them down, they attack you. They haven't attacked Ricochet yet. Right. So could Ricochet get involved? I don't know.
Maybe they just didn't ask him yet.
They did. They gave him a card.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I don't know then. But ultimately, I think when you look at this, for me, the thing that stood out was I can see Swerve winning this. I can see it then leading to a horrific, very uncomfortable beatdown or something afterwards, or the debut of a new member. But I feel like if we're going to have the debut of a new member to make the save, when it looks like all hope's lost for Lashley, that's going to come at a point where it's going to secure the win for Lashley. But I think we need a dominant Lashley performance, and it could serve as a bit of a head shaker of a match for Swerve, get him into gear, because at the minute, I think he's taking them seriously, but he's not taking them as seriously as he may need to do down the line.
Oh, that's a controversial take. He attacked them with a chain.
No, I think down the line this is going to build into like a really big sort of...
Another house fire? This time at the Hurt Syndicate house? Bobby's going to win, though. Yeah. Come on, Bob. Next up for the TNT title, we have the sacrificial goat lamb boy, Jack Perry, taking on Daniel Garcia, who has got... Well, he hasn't got the party bus now. He had the party bus for a few days, but now he's given the party bus back. Who are you picking, Sam?
Well, I can see, again, both sides of this match. Jack Perry, this has been a revelation of a run for him.
Has it?
Well, for me, I feel like seeing... Like, there was no possible way you could get out the back end of the public situation with the footage. And I was like, this isn't gonna, there's no way this can amount to anything crazy. And it has. And for me, I've really enjoyed this sort of build. But at the same time, it feels like Moxley's very much waiting for Perry, doesn't it? And it feels like even though Perry might have made his own version of the belt, it'd be nice for Garcia to get something and continue his meteoric rise while allowing Jack Perry to move on to other things and potentially into Death Riders.
Yeah, I don't see how Daniel Garcia can't win this match, because the storyline is they strapped Jack Perry to a bus, they drove that bus around for days on end, right, without feeding Jack Perry, and then Jack Perry's been left in a barn all tied up to a chair, and now we're going to the pay-per-view. Goats still need to eat, Sam.
Yeah,
bit of grass, bit of hay, bit of carrots. He's got none of those things, no carrots at all. So a weakened Jack Perry, because he can't not be weakened after the last few days of his life. He's going to lose to Daniel Garcia, who of course is on the way to becoming one of these faces who are going to face Jon Moxley down the line, but I think that match needs to be built to a little bit more by the time we obviously get there for that match. For Garcia to be a credible challenger for Moxley.
It's got to be for Garcia.
Garcia for the win.
Next up, we got Will Ospreay taking on Kyle Fletcher. Ross, who you got and why?
I reckon Will wants to make his friend IRL, but not friend on television, Kyle Fletcher, a star. So I'm going to go for Kyle Fletcher with his new hair, his new tights, his new tattoo, his new everything, Sam. I'm going to go for Kyle to get a big statement win.
Yeah, I think even when you look at it from even if you made them even, right, it's never going to be even. You've got the Callis family there. There's going to be some sort of interference. There's going to be some sort of thing that I think costs Will the match, and ultimately Will on the back foot chasing Fletcher I think's better, and Will just kind of beating him. Like, what does it do for Fletcher?
Yeah, Fletcher needs to win.
Fletcher needs to win this.
But that thing you're talking about, we saw an errant strike from Ospreay to one Mark Davies. Now, it's one of my less favourite it's my pet peeve when it comes to tropes in professional wrestling.
Right.
The mistaken contact, that's the word I'm looking for.
You meant that?
Yeah. Just go back and watch the show. You can clearly see Ospreay didn't mean to hit you, Mark, but Mark could be the guy who then sides with Kyle and puts the match in Kyle's favour. But Kyle getting the win is what I think will happen. And finally, for the AEW World Championship, we have the champion Jon Moxley, the Death Rider, taking on Orange Cassidy, who is an orange rider. He bounces along on a little orange.
He's got you should get him at one of them. What do you call them?
Space hopper.
Space hoppers, yeah.
Who are you picking, Sam?
I'm going for Moxley. I think that, to use a time of the year reference as we're coming up toward Christmas, I think that if you are going to do Alan Rickman taking over Nakatomi Plaza, and you're just running wild, you don't just kind of lose to the first guy at
Is
the
that
desk.
a Die Hard reference?
It is, yeah.
Do you want to know something shocking?
You've never seen Die Hard?
I've never seen Die Hard.
Well, this
all the way
Christmas
through.
could be different for you, Ross. But I think that it'd be equivalent to him going up to that first guy at the security desk, as they're trying to storm the building, and him just go, "No, you're not allowed in." So I think this, storyline wise, I think this is going to be a changing character for Orange Cassidy coming out the back of it. But I think that Moxley has to have a dominant win here.
Yeah, I can see Orange Cassidy dangling like Alan Rickman in one of the Die Hard films, and then he falls down, doesn't he?
That's one. That one.
I've seen that bit. Oh, what a bloody lovely scene
Wait
that
till
is.
you get to 3. His brother comes into it in 3. Oh.
But the whole
Samuel L. Jackson. Yes.
The whole storyline is obviously Jon Moxley fighting for AEW, but the rest of the AEW roster not realising he's trying to make the entire place better by having more main eventers on the scene. So I think this is the first chapter of a book of 10 chapters. I don't know. So Orange Cassidy will lose, but he will come close. And I agree with you as well. I would like to see Orange Cassidy become sort of disillusioned with these other younger lads going, well, if you can't beat him, I will. Well, no, you can't beat him because I didn't do that. Why are you so confident?
Yeah.
Bugger to you.
Get him into the veteran position.
Yeah.
The veteran.
The grizzled old veteran Orange Cassidy. But there we go. That's our predictions for Full Gear 2024. Remember, content coming out of the show. We've got a live stream while the show is happening. I'm not here because I'm dead safe.
It'll be
for
me
a wedding.
and Adam Pacitti.
Adam Pacitti is taking my place, and obviously a body double, quite frankly. So Adam and Sam will be live watching the show on YouTube. What's the URL? I always forget.
youtube.com/cultaholic/live.
Coming out the show, we'll have what happened at, and then fast forward until December the 3rd, I think it'll be, or maybe December the 4th. One of those 2 days, that's when your Full Gear WTF moments will be live on the Patreon, because I am down south and not here. And also remember, there'll be a punishment video on the Patreon, patreon.com/cultaholic, where one of us will have to Sir Strumming. Let's use it as a verb.
We're going to Sir Strumming.
Let's do the Sir Strumming. Yeah. Can't wait. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.